welcome to the Network of Wellbeing, Building Wellbeing Together webinar. I'll just ask you to mute if you're coming in and not on mute already, just so that we've got a kind of clear sound and that everyone can hear what's going on. So lovely to see you guys this evening. I already see some familiar faces and lots of new faces too, so really, really lovely. Whilst we're just kind of arriving and getting settled in, it's lovely. We want this to be a really interactive event. So if you want to just write a hello in the chat box, maybe just let us know whereabouts you're joining us from this evening. That is very welcome. It's always lovely to see the different places that people are coming into these online events from. Hi Jenny from Northfleet in Kent. Hi, lovely to see you here. Happy New Year. Me from Totnes in Devon. Hi me. Natasha. Oh, lovely that you're here, Natasha from Surrey. Safi. Hi, lovely to see you. Wonderful. Amanda White. Oh, great you could make it, Amanda. Jim, brilliant. Wow, so many of you. It's so wonderful. And we're really, so I'm Flo from the Network of Wellbeing, and we're really at the Network of Wellbeing really excited about this event this evening because it's quite a different type of event that we're running, where we really want to hear from you guys and encourage everyone to interact with each other essentially. So we're going to be sharing a little bit about the Network of Wellbeing's work and some plans that we've got coming up as well, and things that we're trying to do, events we're running to support people. But we've also got a healthy amount of time in breakout room sessions where we'll be encouraging you guys to share what you're working on or what you're passionate about in relation to wellbeing. And I would just invite those that are coming in to mute themselves, if that's possible, just so that we don't get a background sound. I might just set up a mute wall. There we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's our plan for this evening. We're going to have some short presentations from the Now team, and then we're going to go into breakout room sessions so that you guys can all connect with each other. In order to start us off in the interactive way, first of all, I'm just going to share a poll question with you guys. So you'll hopefully see a poll come up on your screen just now, which is, what is most helping support your well-being right now? And this is a question that you can have multiple answers to, and we've got a few different options there, but staying connected with loved ones as much as possible, getting outside regularly, staying physically active, practicing mindfulness, putting a limit on your media consumption, trying to be gentle and kind with yourself, and or having a sense of purpose. So don't be shy about getting it right or wrong. This is just a kind of very quick introductory question to get a sense of how you guys are doing in this time and what you're doing to support yourselves, really, because as we know, it's kind of a fast changing, uncertain time, and it's in some ways presenting a lot of challenges for our well-being. So it's helpful to kind of start off the evening just kind of sharing a brief sense of what's helping you. So I'm going to end the poll and then share the results with you guys. So interestingly, I am not able to see the results of the poll, I think that Mirella, my colleague, I'm just going to call on you to share the results of the poll, because I think it's because we've got two people hosting.
Yeah, sure. So the majority of people, 78%, have chosen getting outside regularly, as well as staying physically active, which
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. And then staying connected with loved ones as much as possible. So these are the three main things.
Thanks, Me. Thank you. So I'll stop sharing that now. So thank you guys for participating in that and for sharing in the chat box your hellos. As this is a wellbeing event, we wanted to offer the opportunity for us to just kind of let go of the day that's just been and arrive in the present moment. So we're actually really happy and grateful to have Jim Eaton with us this evening, who's going to guide a short mindfulness practice for us to help us arrive in the space. It's just going to be a really brief practice from Jim, maximum of 5 minutes, just to help us land, and then we'll continue with the rest of the evening. So over to you, Jim.
Thank you, Flo. Okay, so welcome everyone. We'll come together now. If you want to close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you. If you don't have to, if you'd rather keep them open, that's okay too. And just closing your eyes and just feel your feet on the floor, sensing your feet. And your sitting bones on the chair. So it's like you have this mountain of support, your 2 feet on the floor and your sitting bones on the chair. And just allowing the breath to move naturally. So the invitation really is to become very simple, kind of childlike, innocent. So just as Flo was saying there, we're letting go of all of our sophisticated adult knowledge. We don't have to get rid of that, but we're just putting that to one side just for this moment, just this 5 minutes. And just staying closely with the immediacy of what's given. And so first, just notice whatever sounds are here. Maybe there's the wind outside or sounds in your immediate environment. And the sound of my voice. And just noticing those sounds coming and going. And whatever's here, whatever's noticing is here throughout the coming and going. And noticing too, whatever sensations are here. So maybe a tingling in the feet. Just noticing those sensations too. Pulsing, moving. And then we include whatever feelings are here. Maybe a feeling of joy or excitement. Or maybe a sadness or a kind of neutral feeling. Just noticing those feelings too. And including whatever smells or tastes are here. And noticing thoughts too, thoughts that may be reflecting on the conversation or thinking about something else. Just noticing those too. Not trying to change anything, not trying to manipulate anything. And so finally, the invitation is to now notice what's noticing. And just see what your mind does as I ask that question, that invitation. Noticing the noticing. Maybe it's looking for something to focus into, another sound or another sensation or another feeling. Trying to grab hold of an experience, but the invitation is the opposite movement. It's to relax that grasping, to let go of needing to know. This easing, softening. Natural resting into what's always already here. Just notice if the mind's trying to grasp again, just bowing to that, thank you. And then we're letting go of needing to know. So we don't even need to say what that is, it's just what we are. And it's from here that we can start to operate, to express, to act from. Okay, Flo, I'm mindful of keeping it very short for you. So
Thank you so much, Jim. That was a lovely way to land and connect together this evening. Welcome all those that have joined during Jim's lovely meditation guided mindfulness practice. And thanks again, Jim, for giving your time to do that and help us arrive. So as I mentioned at the start, this is really about connecting with each other. And some of you may have noticed in the reminder email that I sent around yesterday for this event that I invited you to share or reflect on which topic of breakout room that you might like to be in this evening. So in a short moment, myself and my colleagues at the Network of Wellbeing are going to give a short presentation about our work, but directly after that we want to split you into breakout rooms based on topics that are of most interest to you within wellbeing. And this isn't to kind of unnecessarily divide. We'll share, we'll keep everyone together in the sense of sharing everyone's details and events that want to be shared, but it's more to kind of nurture those connections or those topics that you and themes you feel most passionate about discussing and sharing with others. So what I'm going to do, and I see some really lovely gratitude coming in for Jim in the chat box. Thanks everyone for those kind comments. Definitely shared that sense of peace from Jim's meditation. I'm just going to share in the chat box a list of the groups. This will be recognizable to those of you that read in the email, and those of you that it's new for, no worries at all. But these are the groups, the breakout groups that we're going to be going into after the presentations. And what I'd like to ask you to do is just rename yourself on Zoom with the number of the breakout room that you'd like to go into. And if you're not sure how to rename yourself, you simply click on the top 3 blue dots in the right hand corner if you hover over your face on Zoom. And then if you scroll down, there's a rename option. And you can then put the number of the group that you'd like to be in. You can leave your name in there as well, but just adding in a number or just having the number either way. If you're either on a device where you can't do that, or you're a bit like, oh, I'm not sure how to do that, or I don't really mind which group I'm in, then don't panic or worry. This is an invitation. If you don't allocate yourself to a group, then I'll just allocate you randomly, but this is to support you to connect with those on those themes that you feel most passionate about, like I say. So feel free, as we're going through the presentation, to kind of work out the naming and kind of get yourself into the right group, or name yourself as the right group, and then I'll allocate you after the presentations. But for now, I'm going to share my screen, and myself and my colleagues at the Network of Wellbeing are going to share a little bit about our work. Maybe it's nice if they briefly say a hello, and I'm just talking about Network of Wellbeing colleagues just now because we're about to talk before we share the presentation. So I'll just hand over Roger, Mirella and Josh. If you just say a quick hello and your role at the Network of Wellbeing, that would be brilliant.
I go first. My name is Roger Higman. I'm the director of the Network of Wellbeing.
Thanks, Roger. And Mirella?
Hi, everyone. I coordinate the community projects at the Network of Wellbeing.
Thanks, Mirella. And Josh?
Hi, everyone. I'm Josh. I'm Partnership Development Coordinator at NOW.
Great. Thanks so much. So yeah, these are the voices you're going to be hearing, just sharing just for 10 minutes or so a bit about our work, and then like I say, we'll have an opportunity to get much more interactive in the breakout rooms following this. So bear with me for 1 second whilst I just share my screen, and so hopefully you can all, maybe you can just give me a thumbs up if you can see the presentation. Brilliant. Okay, wonderful. So we're going to be sharing about building wellbeing together this evening. If you're of that mindset and love to tweet, then feel free to tweet about this event on Twitter using the hashtag wellbeing together and tagging us in if possible, because afterwards I love to retweet things, which is we're Network Wellbeing without the O on the network. But we're just gonna, like I say, share a little bit about our work this evening, and I'm going to start off talking about our network and why we think it's so important to build a network of wellbeing actually. So at the Network of Wellbeing, or NOW for short, we really see wellbeing as not just something that's personal to us, but also about how we connect in our communities, how we relate to society, the kind of policies that govern us, and the natural world and the environment. So we really take this kind of broader view of well-being and all that that entails. And what we've noticed is that this is becoming increasingly prominent in lots of different, for people, organisations, and at governmental levels. And we think at NOW that it's most powerful to build well-being together. So to come together from our different perspectives, our different organisations, to move out of silos and to really support each other, and to build a kind of well-being movement of sorts. So we really try and inspire, connect, support those people and organisations that care about this broader sense of well-being. And the way that we do that is through events. Previously, we've run kind of more in-person events that you can see in the slide in the top right here, our Building Wellbeing Together weekends. But more recently, of course, we've been doing a lot of online events. Some of you are regulars at our online events, which is very much appreciated. Some of you might be new, and you're very welcome. But we love to offer these spaces for people to connect and share with each other. And underlying our ethos is a kind of hopefulness. And our previous chair of trustees, now a trustee of the Network of Wellbeing, Satish Kumar, has this powerful quote: "Without optimism, there can be no activism." So we really try and encourage people to take care of themselves and also kind of take care of the world around them through the work that we do. So that's a little bit about the wider network side of our work. And we also try and embody this understanding of well-being through our community work and projects. So I'm going to hand over to my colleagues to share a bit more about that. So over to you, Mirella.
Thanks, Flo. Hi, everyone. One of the projects that we have set up here in Devon is called the Share Sheds, a library of things. And it's basically, it's a place where people can borrow things that we might need just every now and then at a nominal cost. And that's a way to demonstrate how we can live more collaborative and become a little bit more resourceful together. And at the moment, so we launched it initially in Totnes in 2017, and eventually, well, in 2020, we were able to launch this mobile version of the project, which now serves 4 towns in Devon. And we have 350 items, including tools, gardening equipment, camping gear, musical instruments, household appliances. People can come, and because we have a weekly route, they come and become a member, borrow it for a week or more if they need, and return it. And that's a great way of allowing people to save money, save a lot of resource and space too, because sometimes, you know, we might want to use a carpet cleaner, for instance, which is the most popular item we have once a year. It's quite a bulk item, and it's really helpful to have such a service. And if you wanted to know more about it, I will be available to talk further on group 2. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mi. And just to say, going a bit ahead there, just to say the Share Shed is a really powerful example of this idea of we can enjoy our lives more with less, and we really try and support that idea of kind of minimizing our consumption and maximizing our well-being. So yeah, the Share Shed is a fantastic example of that in practice. And now I'm going to hand over to Roger to share a bit about another one of our kind of projects of sorts, which is our retreat venue. So over to you, Roger.
Hello, everybody. Roger Hickman. Yeah, what can I say? Quite an amazing story, really. I mean, 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, somebody approached us wanting to give us a retreat centre, which kind of blew my mind and still blows my mind a bit. It was a functioning centre, a couple of barns adjacent to each other with a passageway between them, 3 or 4 miles to the west of Totnes, on the road to Plymouth. Gorgeous facility made up with wooden panelling, lots of access to green space around. And they gifted it to us, and since then we've been running it as a retreat centre for people, and lots of people have hired it. It sleeps up to 22 people, including some options for glamping that we put in, some new tents and this sort of stuff. It has a range of spaces. You can see some of the spaces here for meeting and connecting. Also has a sauna, which I haven't put an illustration on, which you can also use, and access to 7 acres of countryside around that people can use for walks, relaxing walks, for workshops outside, and so on and so on. Of course, the tragedy at the moment is it's closed because of lockdown, which is a great shame. But we're hoping to reopen it as soon as we can. And when open, people hire it for events. It has to be residential, arranging from 2 nights through to 7 day long, week-long retreats for everything from personal development and mindfulness through yoga, theatre workshops, all sorts of things that people use it for. And we're hoping over time to develop it as a centre of well-being, for retreats based around the issues that we care about, things like mindfulness, access to nature, sharing and making, and so on, It'll always be available to others to hire. And if you're interested in running workshops here, we'd love to talk to you. It's a great facility, and the more we can use it, the better. Thank you, Flo.
Thanks so much, Roger. And just to mention briefly, Jim Eaton, who guided that beautiful mindfulness practice earlier, is one of our regular Eden Rise users, which is why one of the reasons why we invited Jim to join us this evening. So thanks again to Jim. And now over to Josh to share a bit about some of the partnership work we have done.
Thanks, Flo. In September last year, Now was a partner in developing and promoting the Leeds Festival of Kindness, Compassion and Wellbeing, which is another example of what can be achieved when people collaborate to build wellbeing together. The festival aimed to showcase some of the existing inspiring initiatives and new initiatives that exemplify these three themes across the city and could be described as an experimental cultural change project to create a conducive context in which all might flourish. The organising group originally started with mental health practitioners, NHS community nursing and social care staff, and we're asking questions such as what makes a neighbourhood healthy, or what makes a city healthy. And with Andy Bradley, who runs compassionate leadership trainings for the NHS, and who's been a guest speaker previously on Now webinars, we outlined our theory of change, which involved 9 capital Ps: promoting our holistic perspective, walking our talk by sharing practice, offering permission to get involved, creating a festival platform for participation and partnership in an attempt to reach the parts that some official or seemingly more intimidating initiatives can't always get to, and in the process to create a more widely shared ethos and a more coherent, resilient network of connected projects across the city. Our original plan, with the council's cooperation, had been to take over City Hall for one day and turn it into a kindness exchange, a little like the wool exchange or corn exchanges of previous times, because kindness, compassion and well-being protect and nurture human and environmental value that are so central to our collective evolution in the 21st century. Having had to quickly adapt in the face of the pandemic, we were very fortunate to have a skilled volunteer, Nick Cragg, who was able to get us online and train the team accordingly. And the festival had 6 themes, which were coordinated by our project lead, Gloria Kimberley. Those were kindness to self, kinder relationships, kinder communities, kinder spaces, kinder business, and kindness to our planet. The council leader, Judith Blake, opened the festival, and with our very own Satish Kumar, who spoke inspiringly about compassion at all levels, to self, society and planet. The festival events were organised by volunteers, partner organisations and faith groups, and were eventually viewed from 16 different countries. If you want to know more, you can still take part because all the events are still available online. And one of the founders of the festival, Angela Green, is with us tonight, facilitating one of the breakout rooms this evening. In our first year with limited funds and a relatively small team, we certainly can't claim to have changed the city as a whole, which has something like 800,000 population. But we hope that what we have done, as Positive News suggested, was contribute as a catalyst towards a kinder world. And Now is keen to support other examples of collaboration that can contribute to building the wellbeing movement. And the festival will take place again this October, and is looking to connect with other partners to develop this theme of kindness, compassion and wellbeing. I just finished with a quote. As someone once said, kindness is the glue that holds the world together, and it's what our planet needs as this next step for us all to survive and thrive. Thanks, Flo.
Thanks so much, Josh. Yeah, really inspiring example, like you say, of what people can achieve when they come together at that community level to really bring out goodness and transform, yeah, the wider environment in which they're living. And Network of Wellbeing was really, you know, pleased to support as a supporting partner the Kinder Leeds Festival, and we're really keen to kind of partner with projects, organisations across the UK. We know that these kind of examples happen you know, happened really strongly in Leeds and are happening all over the country. So really exciting to have you guys with us this evening who are based in different parts across the country. So I'm just that was kind of just a whistle-stop tour of the Network of Wellbeing's work. Here's just, this might be, if you're keen to stay in touch, please do feel free to screenshot this page if you're not already following us on social media and would like to. This is just ways to keep in touch, essentially. So you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can check out our website where we share upcoming events and webinars, that kind of thing. I do just want to give a brief shout out to some of the other events we've got coming up that you're welcome to join us at. This evening's event is really unique in a sense that we're being really interactive, but we also love to kind of host speakers, which is going to be our next event in partnership with the Resurgence Trust. We're going to be hosting an event called Hope in Action on the 2nd of February. And I'll ask my colleague Mirella, if she hasn't done so already, it would be great if you could copy the links to these events into the chat box so that people have them. But don't worry about needing to immediately sign up, because we'll also be sharing these links in the follow-up emails. I just wanted to give a mention of different ways you could future get involved. And then there's we're hosting kind of listening spaces regularly with another organisation called the Heart Movement. So listening spaces are very interactive, almost mindful spaces to share in a kind of different open-hearted way. Very welcome to join us at those events. And then finally, we're going to be running a series with Eden Project Communities on small steps, big difference, how nature connection can change the world. That's going to be starting in February. So the reason to share these is also to just highlight that we love to work in partnership. We're working with a range of different organisations. We're really open to working in partnership. And we'd love you guys to stay involved and come to our future events, of course. Do share your own events in the chat box now, and you'll also, we'll be going into breakout rooms shortly. So I'll just stop sharing my screen for a moment. We'll be going into breakout rooms shortly, so you'll have a chance to connect directly with a smaller group of people. But I'd love to invite you, if you do have an event coming up quite soon, then it would be wonderful if you want to put the link in the chat box so that other people can find out about that event and connect. And like I say, we'll also be sharing a copy of the chat box after this event so that people will have all of those details. What I might do now is, because I'm just going to assign everyone to breakout rooms, and we'll be going into breakout rooms shortly, but I'll just invite you, number one, if you've got events coming up, feel free to share them in the chat. Number two, if you've got any questions for the Network of Wellbeing team, then feel free to share those in the chat. And number three, oh, wonderful, because I've got I'm just going to split up the breakout rooms. I'd love to not put you on the spot too much, David, but I actually would, if you wouldn't mind, just saying a few words about, because you asked if you wouldn't could have the opportunity to say a few words about your book launch coming up. So David is a member of the network. He's written for our blog before, and he's recently written a book about wellbeing. So whilst I'm just multitasking, I'll hand over to you to share a little plug for your book launch. That's okay.
Very, very nice of you. And sorry, everybody, I don't want to hog this event. I've put quite a bit in the chat, so I won't talk too long. But in essence, it pretty much represents what you've been talking about, Flo, really, is about bringing different groups together. So within the book, I talk about education. Oh, thank you. Look, Josh has got a copy there, holding it up. So you're better than me, Josh. I've not even got a copy here with me. But yeah, it very much talks about bringing groups together. So, you know, we really need to educate people differently, and the Network of Wellbeing, they do an excellent job. I've put everything there in the chat. So if you'd love to come along to the event, then I'd love to talk more about the book and share it with you. That's it. That's me done.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, David. And actually, just because I need, I've got to admit, we're having a little experiment this evening, splitting people into these themed breakout rooms. So I'm going to invite one of my colleagues, perhaps Roger, if you would like to share any of the other events that are coming up in the chat box, and or respond to any of the comments. That would be much appreciated. I just need 1 minute or so to organise the breakout rooms.
Sure, Flo, that's no problem. I mean, just to say, yeah, there's all sorts of events popping up in the chat book. I mean, we've got Lisa Pidgeon, who's running our creativity group this evening, talking about some arts and health and wellbeing free online event that's happening this Thursday. We've got Angela, who's running our kindness group, has put a link about the next kind meetings. And we've got Natasha, who is from the Global Action Plan, with a launch of some research on the 2nd of February, United in Compassion, bringing young people together to create a better world, which is interesting. I mean, I was just reading the blurb about that, and it's very much around the fact that before we grow up, we're all very, very compassionate and very, very kind to each other. But unfortunately, as people grow up, they suddenly realize that maybe they won't fit in if they're that nice, and somehow maybe they have to be cool. I don't know. But they for some reason we learn not to be so nice, and that's an issue that they've identified, and they wondered, well, how can we rejuvenate ourselves and maybe learn some of that kindness that we had to start off with. Sharon Knott has posted about the Step 1 charity training. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks very interesting. And Amanda White is doing daily creative writing and wellbeing on Facebook groups, a chance to interact on the Great Margin through our partnership with Paper Nations UK, which is also there. And then we've got Emma. Emma, I know, I think this is not the Emma I was thinking of. Running an event for group and community leaders tomorrow lunchtime to help brainstorm challenges, bringing people together. That's takeaway lunch. I'd be interested possibly to go to that myself. I know there's also an Emma who's around, who's from the Plymouth Mindful Art Club, and I know we're doing regular webinars and art events that people can join. And then, yeah, so a whole host of events that we'll be able to share the links later on. And hopefully, as a result of reading that, Flo, you've been able to post everybody to their working groups.
Welcome back, everyone, and yeah, hopefully slowly people are coming in. Sorry that we have run a little bit over time, but it was so lovely in the groups to get to connect with people, and this is a bit of an experiment in a way for us at the Network of Wellbeing tonight, in terms of offering people this way to really try and connect and network online. And yeah, we're totally open to welcome your experimenting with us, and really appreciate you being here with us this evening. Like I mentioned earlier, usually we kind of hear more from a speaker and then have a discussion on a particular topic, but we thought start of the year it's lovely to kind of just connect with each other in a slightly less formalized way. But obviously that leaves things a little messy around the edges. But I would just like to say I hope you all enjoyed your breakout room discussions. And I meant to mention before, and hopefully some of you will have heard about in your breakout room discussions, we have a Google document to help support you all to stay in touch. So I'm just going to share the link to that in the chat box. At the moment, it's split up into separate tabs based on the groups that you were in. But what I'm going to do after this event is combine that all into one simple tab document. So any information about your work, your email address, your website that you'd like to share, please do put it in that document, and then that will be circulated to everyone that's joined and registered for this event. So it's a great way to share what you're involved in relation to wellbeing. So I'm aware of time, so I'm just the last request of the evening is just we love to take a screenshot of these gatherings that we have together, just to share on social media and celebrate the connection that we've had in the evening. So I would invite you, if you would like to be in the screenshot, to smile or wave, and if you don't want to, then feel free to turn off your camera. I see the enthusiastic people waving already. So thank you so much. We will send a follow-up email with further events that you can join and all of the details that have been shared in that Google document. So this will just be hopefully the beginning of a connection and a conversation for those of you that are new to the network. And for those of you that have been before or are long-term supporters and members, thank you so much for being here with us and yeah, experimenting with us and helping build wellbeing together.